It is no secret that planning a trip to Disney World can definitely get expensive. And whenever you first see the initial price of a Disney World vacation, it can definitely send you into sticker shock. I know that I have definitely seen that before. But would you believe me if I told you that even today there are still ways that you can save money whenever going on or planning a Disney World vacation? This is one of my favorite things to talk about. And tonight I'm going to be sharing with you 9 money saving tips for your next Disney World vacation. So, whether you are joining us here on the live stream or you are watching on the replay, I want to thank you so much for being with us here tonight. This video here is a part of our usual Wednesday live streams that happen on this channel at 7 p.m., where we talk about different Disney tips or updates or things just to help you on your next Disney World vacation. So, obviously, very excited tonight to be talking to you about ways to save money on your next Disney World vacation, because having a Disney budget can be a very important thing to have in mind whenever you are going into the planning process or just going to Disney World in general. So, like I said, I want to thank you all for being here tonight live or on the replay. If you are watching here on the replay, consider joining us next Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another live stream. But before we go ahead and hop right on into it, I of course want to say hi to everyone that is in the chat. We've got Disney World is my happy places here. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. We've got Gabe. Thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it. And of course, Doofs and Disney. Thank you guys so much for being here. So very, very excited about this tonight. We've already got some chats rolling in here. But hey, Joe, thank you so much for being here. So I'm going to go ahead and just read through some of the chats before we hop into the stream for tonight. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do the same format that we did for last week's live stream, where I'm going to go through and talk about my 9 different talking points. And then at the end, I'm going to go roll through the chat again and then open up to question and answer if you guys have any questions at all. And of course, during the stream, feel free to put any questions or comments or chats just in the chat. Definitely talk amongst yourselves, or feel free to ask any questions that I would love to answer at the end of the stream. So I know a huge Disney update that we had today was the Magic Band Plus came out, and looking back, I really should have just made this a Magic Band Plus stream, but truly I didn't know if I was going to have it all figured out. I did go and I actually did pick one up today. So on Friday, I'm going to have that vlog go out. We've already had some shorts go out about the new Magic Band Plus. So yes, I know people have already started ordering them for their trip and everything. So definitely glad that you guys were able to get those. And we're going to definitely be talking about a lot of the Magic Band Plus here on the channel coming up. So yes. And so, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead. We're going to hop right on into it. And then afterwards, like I said, feel free to ask any questions during the stream, and we can go ahead and get to that afterwards. So the first thing that I want to say to you, a good way to save some money whenever going to Disney World, is to visit during the off season. So there are definitely some times during the season or during the year that are more expensive than others to actually visit Disney World. 2 of the times that definitely come to mind are definitely peak season, such as summertime. We're currently in the summer season, and then any of the holidays. So around Christmas time and even Halloween can be a very expensive time to actually visit Disney World. So one thing right off the bat, if you are in the middle of your planning process or you're going into planning a trip to Disney World, one easy way to save you some money is to just visit during the off season. So right now, whenever I was looking into this and doing some research, I found that the cheapest time for the rest of this year in 2022 is actually to visit in September. So that is one of the cheapest times to get resort stays and park tickets. So right off the bat, if you're looking for an easy way to just save some money, definitely consider going during the off season and looking into some of the planning whenever it comes to that, whenever it comes to booking resort stays or even airline tickets. I know sometimes can be cheaper during those times as well. So that is just an easy way right off the bat to save you some money whenever doing planning and going to Disney World. The second thing that I want to say is to stay off property. Now, of course, whenever you go to Disney World, it's a very popular thing to stay on Disney World property. There's some perks that come with it, and it's just fun to stay in a Disney resort. I totally get that. I am right there with you. But with staying at a Disney resort definitely comes a high ticket price at times. So the nice thing about staying off property there are a couple of options that you have available to you. So when doing research, I found that Disney actually has some off property good neighbor hotels that they partner with. And there's a lot of perks that actually come with staying at these good neighbor hotels. Some of the things that I looked into, particularly when I was looking into one of the Best Western options that were available in the area, well, I should say actually, what a good neighbor hotel is basically Disney partners with some of these hotels that are in the surrounding, Disney World area that you can stay at. And they have a couple of perks whenever staying at those resorts when it comes to Disney World. But the nice thing that I found with some of these are they actually include breakfast, they include parking, and they actually have transportation at times to the Disney parks. So that was huge. That was a very big thing that I saw personally if I were to decide to have a staycation down here at Disney World, if I wanted to just have a little, like I said, staycation, definitely consider staying off property is a very easy way to also save some money. So I really liked personally how some of these good neighbor or hotels included some of those like breakfast and parking, because some of those things are actually not included in a Disney resort. So if you stay on property at a Disney resort, you will have to pay extra for breakfast, and then you'll also have to pay extra or pay for parking each night if you decide to park at the resort. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. And then I did like how some of them actually offered transportation to the parks. So that was huge. If you're wanting to stay there and you don't have a rental car or a car in general available to you, it's very nice to have that transportation to get you to and from one of those hotels to the parks. But another thing that is very nice that I have used personally in the past too when going to Disney World and staying off property is actually to get an Airbnb. So there are a ton of condos and villas and apartments and just rooms, private rooms that you can get whenever staying around Disney property on Airbnb. I know a friend and I earlier in May, we had a little mini staycation and we stayed in an Airbnb near Disney World, and it was very nice. Personally, I had a car to drive to and from Disney World, which was nice. So if you don't have transportation available to you, you might have to think about having a rental car or having a car in general, or Ubering back and forth to and from the parks in your Airbnb. But I know this is also a great thing if you're traveling with a large party of people. Having the ability to rent out a condo or just a house in general would be a very nice thing, that you have a lot of room and a lot of space for a lot of people, and maybe a good cost whenever it comes to having a large space like that. So definitely think about either staying off property at an Airbnb or at one of the good neighbor hotels, or just at a different surrounding hotel. It's definitely something that you can think of in terms of saving some money whenever it comes to lodging. I will say though, with the Airbnb, I definitely would recommend doing some research ahead of time into some of them, so that way you make sure that you don't get yourself into any sticky situations, because I know definitely there are some interesting listings that you can find on there. So definitely do some research a little bit more into that if you're choosing to stay at an Airbnb. But let's say you absolutely want to stay on property. I totally get it. Like I said, if you're wanting to stay at Disney World on Disney property, definitely try to find ways to not pay full price for your resort. One way or another, Disney always seems to be running discounts on their resort stays. I know right now, currently during the time of this video, there is a Disney Plus subscribers discount that Disney is currently doing, where Disney Plus subscribers can get 25% off select resort stays. So that is huge. And then also there have been some Disney Visa card discounts in the past. If you are a Florida resident or if you are an annual pass holder, there's ways that you can save money. So definitely try to see if there's a way that you can get a discount on the resort stay or at the resort that you are planning on staying at. I know there is a deals and discounts tab on the Disney World website that you go and check. They have a list of all of the discounts that they are currently offering during the time period that you might be looking at or in the future. So always take advantage of looking at that tab and seeing if there's any discounts that you can take advantage of, because you never know if there is something that you could, try to find and definitely could see that you could use if you wanted to stay on Disney property. I know sometimes Disney travel planners too can help to get you a good deal. So there's definitely some research you want to do into it whenever it comes to lodging. There's a lot that can go into it, but those are both great items or great things that you can take into consideration whenever thinking about lodging and staying either on property or off property when going on a Disney vacation. The fourth thing that I want to mention to you is to have groceries delivered. So you guys may know, if you've seen my previous videos, I love bringing snacks and food with me whenever I go to Disney World. I always like having stuff on hand. I find it's very handy, but food is also a very huge thing that can take up your Disney World budget. It can start to get expensive pretty quickly. And one thing that's very nice if you're staying at a resort or a hotel is you can actually have groceries delivered to your hotel. You can order them through an app like Instacart or different grocery delivery services. There's one called Vacation Grocery Delivery that I have looked into before that I think it's cast members that are working to have kind of like a side hustle that they deliver groceries to different Disney World resorts and in the surrounding area. So definitely consider having groceries delivered to your resort, or just it's very nice having some food on hand. Some of the hotels have mini fridges in them, so you can keep cold items in there. Like if you wanted to have some breakfast items, that's a really great way to kind of get one meal out of the way. Or I know I like to have like a lunch prepared and then maybe eat a meal or like a dinner inside of the park. So you can definitely get creative and think about it in that terms whenever it comes to food to help you save a little bit money in your budget. But it's also nice to just have some snacks on hand whenever you're walking around from ride to ride or just being in the parks. I know I was at Magic Kingdom today. We talked about that. And when I was activating my magic band inside of Cosmic Rays, I had seen a bunch of families come in and out. They were trying to find somewhere to eat breakfast. So if you have groceries delivered or groceries on hand, this is a great way to just get breakfast out of the way. And then you don't have to worry about trying to find a place to eat breakfast during your time whenever you're at the park. So that's valuable park time that you want to take advantage of. So they were trying to figure out where they could find some breakfast. Everybody was hungry. The kids were crying. Don't let that happen to yourself. So consider having groceries on hand, because then you can definitely take a little bit more advantage of your park time or just have some happy campers with you. I know that it depends on how much or where you're going. Meals definitely vary. I know for quick service restaurants, usually it can be about $10 to $15. And then dinners are definitely vary depending on where you go. Usually they're about 20 to 40 to maybe even more than that. So it definitely can get expensive if you're wanting to eat on Disney property. So maybe consider having some groceries delivered to your hotel. The fifth thing that I want to say is to get Disney gift cards. So these are a really interesting thing that I like to use personally, but this is a nice way to get some money back on the money that you're going to be paying for your vacation. So I've talked about this before, but there's a couple of ways that you can use Disney gift cards to get some money back. So the one way that you can do this is if you have a Target Red card, and definitely more people in the chat, if you have any ways that you like to save money whenever it comes to Disney gift cards, let me know. But I know two ways. One is with a Target Red card. If you have the Target Red card and you choose to purchase Disney gift cards or any type of gift cards, you can get 5% back on your purchases. So this is a nice way to save a little bit of money on the gift cards. I will say too, I skipped over it, but if you have a budget idea for how much your trip is going to cost, this is a really nice way that you can just buy all the gift cards right out. You can use these gift cards for just about anything on Disney property. You can use them to buy theme park tickets. I've heard resort stays, merch, of course, inside of the parks or at Disney Springs. So if you have a budget idea for how much you want to spend, definitely get that in Disney gift cards, because there's some savings that you can get back on it. Another thing that I have seen is at Sam's Club, you can actually buy discounted Disney gift cards. So these discounted Disney gift cards are definitely a slight discount, but everything counts whenever it comes to going to Disney World, because I know there may be some type of merch that you can purchase with your savings or get a nice dinner or something like that. So, I mean, if it's money you're going to be spending anyway, it's nice to get some savings back on it for sure, if you're willing to put just a little bit of effort into getting the gift cards and purchasing things that way. But the other thing that I will say, at least with my family personally, it might not necessarily relate to Disney or getting Disney gift cards, but I know my sisters love getting gift cards from our local grocery store because the amount of money that you spend on gift cards, you can actually get back in fuel perks. So this might not be ways that we directly save money whenever it comes to going to Disney World, but it's helping us to save money on the money that we did spend to go to Disney World, if you will. So you can definitely get creative whenever it comes to using these gift cards, whether you save money on gas or just save money in general. It's definitely some ways that you can think about doing that. So just get a little bit creative whenever it comes to using the gift cards. And I know some people don't even know that you can do that or can use those. So it's just a good thing just to bring up anyhow. So the sixth thing that I will say to save some money is to also plan an off day. So whenever you're going to Disney World, you can get very tired. It's very exhausting to run around the parks. They're huge. There's so much to see and do. You might have a family. People might get tired. The parks open very early. They close very late. I think tonight Magic Kingdom has extra magic hours and it closes at 1 a.m. or something like that. So if you're there from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m., that can definitely be a long day. So it might be nice to just budget an off day in between your park days. And this is a nice way, obviously, to save some money too on park tickets. Then you don't have to spend money on park tickets for every time that you, or every day that you are at Disney World. So I know there are a couple of ways that you can take advantage of an off day whenever you're at Disney World that I like to do personally. And some of these are free, so which is very nice. What I like to do is definitely go resort hopping. I absolutely love resort hopping. There are so many resorts on Disney property. We've talked about it here before, but you can use Disney transportation to hop around and see all of the resorts. You can, of course, go and get a meal there or just check out how each of the resorts are different in their own ways. You can use the Skyliner, the buses to kind of hop around, and it's very neat to see that. Disney Springs is also a great thing to do on an off day. There are so many stores. You could totally spend a day at Disney Springs just by itself. Now, I will say the merch that you spend money on there is definitely not going to be free. So besides the merch that you might spend money on at Disney Springs, it's definitely a free thing that you can do. You can take a bus over there to spend the day. Check out Gideon's, one of my favorite places. But Disney Springs is one thing that you can do on an off day, and then also have a pool day. So you can definitely take advantage of the amenities that come with your resort or your hotel. So it's definitely take advantage of that. If you are staying at a resort or a hotel, having a pool day is a very nice thing to do. So I will say having an off day is just a nice way to recharge and save a little money in that that aspect. The seventh thing that I will also say too, one thing that I like to do is buy merch before the trip. So of course, Disney has a bunch of great merchandise options whenever it comes to going to Disney World, but buying merch at Disney World can definitely start to add up very, very quickly. I know from getting these magic bands today. So merch can definitely start to add up in your Disney budget. But there are places that you can get merchandise before actually going to Disney World. Some of my favorite places to go to are definitely Target, Walmart, and Amazon. All these places are great places to go and actually get t-shirts for your trip. I know Target has a really great selection of Disney and Universal t-shirts. And then Amazon, of course, you know, there's a lot of stuff there. Each of these stores have good park essentials, maybe backpacks you might want to be looking for, any other type of things that you might need whenever it comes to planning a Disney vacation. I know my mom had sent me the other day too. Sam's Club has really good Disney stuff as well. We talked about the Disney gift cards, but they have a really good sale going on right now for Disney World or Disney themed suitcases. So these are all definitely things that you can think about whenever it comes to getting merch for your trip. I know there's a ton of small shops out there that you can get ears, shirts, little Disney trinkets that you might need whenever going to the parks. And then also, I like to get creative. I like to make my own ears. I think I've talked about before, do some Cricut t-shirts. So you can definitely do some DIY stuff before your trip. So that's another way to get a little bit creative and maybe stand out a little bit in the park. Maybe you'll have something different than what is actually offered in the parks, but also, as we keep talking about, help you to save a little bit of money. The eighth thing, oh, I almost dumped it. The eighth thing is to bring a water bottle with you. So I always talk about this on here. Not only are you going to want to stay hydrated when you're in the parks, and not only are you going to want to have a water bottle on you to stay hydrated, but it's a really great way to help you save some money. I know when at Disney World, water can definitely vary in cost. It can be anywhere from like $3 to $6 a bottle. And if you're going back, multiple times a day to purchase multiple bottles of water, it can definitely start to add up in cost. I know I walked through Casey's Corner today and there was this family buying 10 bottles of water. So that definitely was not cheap. It's an essential, of course, when going to Disney World, but you can, of course, bring your own water bottle. If you want to cut out soda for your trip, that's a way that you can save some money whenever it comes to going to meals. These are just all ways to think about. But yes, definitely, I like bringing a water bottle with me, filling it up throughout the day. I definitely went to quick service restaurants multiple times today to ask for a cold glass of water. So definitely something that you can think about whenever it comes to saving money and staying hydrated in the parks. And the last thing that I will say to you, the ninth thing here, and definitely feel free to put any questions and stuff that you have in the chat here, because I'm going to be finishing up my talking points real quick. But the ninth thing that I have to say is to skip the extras. So there are definitely some bonus things or extra things that you can spend money on whenever going to Disney World that, depending on how you look on it or look at it, may or may not be needed. So there are two things that I want to point out in particular, that there's nothing wrong, of course, with having these things, but if you're looking for some ways to save some money, these are things that you might not need for your trip. So the first thing that I will say, if you're planning on, of course, doing the parks, is to get single day park tickets instead of park hopper tickets. So if you aren't familiar with it, Disney has a couple of ticket options that you can purchase. You can buy a single park day ticket, which means you get to visit one park per day, or you can get the park hopper ticket where you can hop around to multiple parks throughout the day. So these park hopper tickets are more expensive than the standard or the single park day ticket. It just depends on when you're going, how much of a difference it is. But these park hopper tickets, like I said, they are more expensive. And a lot of times it takes some time to actually hop from park to park. So this is, again, valuable park time that you are taking up whenever it comes to doing park hopping. And I usually recommend that people don't necessarily park hop because it does take some time to park hop around. You might not know exactly where to go whenever it comes to transportation to get from place to place. But I did some math here just on the differences between buying park tickets and not buying park tickets. And sometimes it can be an $85 difference between per person between both of the standard or the single park day tickets and the park hopper tickets. So that's something that you maybe want to think about. And then the second thing that I have just off the top of my head when it comes to extras is that lovely Genie Plus. So depending on what your thoughts are on Genie Plus, definitely can be something that is very good to use in the parks, but it is definitely costly if you're wanting to use it for multiple days. So Genie Plus is an extra $15 per day per guest, and depending on if you want to purchase the extra individual lightning lanes, that can be anywhere from $9 to, I think Guardians is about $17 per person. So just depending on what time of year or what day you're going. So all of these extras can definitely start to add up in your Disney budget. And these are just some things that you can really easily just cut right out and you don't have to necessarily spend some money on. So those are all of my money saving tips that I have for you. I hope you guys found them helpful and useful, and maybe can think about using them if you have a trip coming up, or if you're thinking of planning a trip. There's no right way of necessarily doing Disney, or no wrong way, I guess I should say, of doing Disney, but these are all just great ways to just think about whenever it comes to planning or going to Disney World, that you can easily save some money on your Disney budget and definitely help you to have a really good time whenever you go with your the money that you're wanting to spend on the trip. So hope you guys enjoyed those tips here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to roll through the chat. So I'm going to roll up to the top here. Maybe. Let's see, where did we leave off? Okay, so I think, are we talking about, so we can talk about Magic Band Plus here for a little bit if you guys would like to. So who was the princess one for that was in your video? So I personally purchased one Magic Band today. So this was the one that I purchased for myself, but I had a friend the Disney Diva for You on Instagram. She was really wanting some magic bands for her and her family. They are coming down very soon. So I went ahead and I got these for her so that way she could have them for her trip. And some of these magic bands, like I know the Black Panther magic band was actually not released online, I think it was. So it was like this one and the Iron Man one was not released online, but here's a look at some of them. So this was the Disney Snacks one. This was the one that I wanted initially until I saw good old Orange Bird. And then this was the Princess one. And then, of course, if I'm going, there we go. This was the Black Panther magic band. So they honestly had such a great selection of magic bands. I loved all of the designs and colors that they had. I think they did a really good job. So this is a really good question. I was actually thinking that about that question during my day because I had a bunch of people ask me about it. So I would say my thoughts on it are right now, just initially after going to the parks, I would say if you're somebody that likes to go at the Disney parks and try to get as many rides and things in as possible, I would say that, and you might not want to necessarily do the games or, you know, kind of the added stuff. I would say that it's not necessarily needed, but if you're someone that likes to, you know, enjoy your time at the parks and enjoy the details and participate in some of the games, like if you have the Play Disney app already and you like doing games like that, then I would say that it's, you know, it's something that you could definitely consider being reasonable kind of upgrading to if you already have a standard Magic Band. I know that the Magic Band Plus, I think the solid colors are maybe just a little bit more than the typical Magic Bands that might be like the fancy designs, if you will. So I don't know. It's just something that you want to think about again in your Disney budget if it's something that you would want to upgrade to. I know personally, I enjoyed interacting with the statues. I was just at Magic Kingdom today and I did the Fab 50 quest where you kind of like wave your arm and the statues kind of interact with you. I thought that was very fun. I really did like that a lot. So some of the statues I did think were a little underwhelming. Some of them only have like sounds and they don't necessarily talk to you. But I think Disney could definitely kind of update and add some things as time goes on whenever it comes to these magic bands. I think it just opens up a lot of opportunities for them. So hopefully that answers your question. That's kind of my initial thought with it. But yes, yeah, okay. So Doofs are saying absolutely buy it. Yeah, so this is a good question because when I was very confused about this as well. So on the back, right off the back, I will say it says easily recharge your band with the included charging cable. So okay, well it's backwards, sorry. So it does come with a charging cable, which is very nice. It comes with it already in the packaging, but what was confusing is they were selling some like replacement portable or replacement chargers in the store today. So everybody was asking the cast members, do you have to buy these chargers? And they were saying yes, probably not knowing that they were included, but you definitely don't. So it comes with the charger, which is very nice. And we can talk about like if you need how the charging and hooking up process goes if you guys would like to. Does Disney have an off season anymore? I mean, we saw earlier this year, it was absolutely crazy after Christmas time, whenever it should have been definitely a lot slower. So I would say, I know September is a great time that I like to visit Disney World. I like that because it seems like kids are getting back into school and people are kind of getting back into their work routine. So that seems to be a good time to visit Disney World. So that would probably be the only kind of off season that there is. I would say it's not necessarily an off season, it's just a less busier season. So, let's see. I have not been to Shades of Green. Oh, to stay at, very nice. Or Swan and Dolphin. I have not stayed at Swan and Dolphin either. So, okay, let's see. Check resort fees. Yeah, this is something. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, again, kind of like with the Airbnb, definitely look into the Good Neighbor resorts as well. There could be some hidden fees. Definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Doofs, for pointing that out. I appreciate it. So this is a good question. Do you write a script for your lives or bullet points, or are you just wing? I'm definitely not winging it. I'll show it to you. I use this app or this website called Evernote, and I just go ahead and I come up with my intro that I'm going to say to you guys or try to say to you guys. And then I definitely come up with talking points that I like to talk about. So that's how I kind of do my lives here because I definitely, yeah, thank you, Deuce. You said that. All right, yes, and then usually I add it to the description the description bar below so that way you guys can see it if you need to. And also, I've been very bad, but I do want to start being better about getting downloads made for you guys. So what I would like to do is to have basically my script version just in a piece of or like a download that you can look at to help you whenever you're in the parks. That's something that I just definitely need to get better about making whenever it comes to that. Let's see. Yeah. So Doof's here calling me out. Yes. I'm always snacking. Definitely I always bring snacks. I do this thing. I call it, you know how Crocs have sports mode where you flip down like the back flap for your Crocs. I call it Loungefly snack mode. So I like to put the Loungefly on the front of me, and then I can kind of reach in and grab any snacks that I want whenever I'm walking around. So yeah, that is my snack mode. But yeah, I definitely am a snacker in the Disney parks. So definitely. Yeah, definitely. The discounts. Yeah, I know I made a post about the Sam's Club ones. Target definitely has a better discount, but if you don't have, I don't have the Target Red card, I should really get one. But yeah, so that's something to think about with the discounts for sure. Let's see. Okay, I have not personally gone to the Hoop-Dee-Doo musical review. I do have some friends. They're Corey and Laura on the Main Street Explorers channel. They absolutely love Hoop-Dee-Doo review. I have heard it's a very good time. They always rave about it. I think they just missed it on their last vacation, but they absolutely love it. So definitely, I would give it a chance. I haven't seen anything bad about it. I've heard the food is good and the entertainment is very fun, so it's definitely something you could check out. But let me know your thoughts if you do check it out, because I'm very curious if you think it's worth it or not. But you could definitely go on to the Main Street Explorers channel. You could either ask them or you could watch. I think they have some vlogs and videos of the experience that you could definitely check out to see if it's something for you or not. Okay. Oh, work at Character Warehouse as well. That's good to know. Love Hoop-Dee-Doo review. Okay, perfect. And sorry, guys, just reading through the chat. Yeah, definitely. If you don't have the red card, yeah, do Sam's for sure. Now, Doofs, I knew as soon as I said Gideon's that you were going to bring up Everglazed. I have not personally tried Everglazed yet, so I definitely need to because I have heard really good things about it. So, oh, okay, let's see. Have you seen or experienced the bus restriction for park hopping? I have not yet. I have not actually tried to park hop. I was going to today to try out the Magic Band at Galaxy's or at Hollywood Studios for Galaxy's Edge, but I have not seen anything about that yet. So that's a very good question. I haven't even seen any signs for it. So, but no, I have not experienced anything yet. I'm going to go back Friday to the park, so I'll see if there's any of the signs there just to kind of check that out. Okay. This is a good question. I have not been to the Character Warehouse in a while, but the last time that I went, they did not do the virtual queue. Usually there is still a line outside of the building that you may have to wait in for them to let you in. But other than that, I have not seen them have a virtual queue, which is nice. 10 bottles of water. Yeah, basically an arm and a leg. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Is Droid Depot a good idea? That's a good question too. I have not personally done this. I do know that I would like to because I want a pink BB-8, but I've seen a lot of people really like it because of course you can customize your droid, and I love that afterwards there is a separate like mat area that you can actually go and play with your droid. So I know it's a little bit expensive. I think they're $100 for a droid. But you know, if it's an experience that you maybe would want to take advantage of if you are a Star Wars fan, or if you want a droid just to have whenever you're at home too, definitely look at that, or look at vlogs and reviews too of what people think about it. It looks very fun. It kind of looks like the equivalent of like Build-A-Bear. Whenever I was a kid, I did a bunch of Build-A-Bears. So just a very extreme version of that because you can customize it and make it your own. So I don't think that it's a bad idea if you were wanting to do it. I think it's a very cool thing to do. And even if you aren't going to do it, maybe just go and take a look at it for yourself because you can go and watch people actually make their droids and it looks like a lot of fun. Okay. Cheaper to buy multiple days at once. Yes, I've definitely seen this too. Whenever it comes to buying park tickets, you definitely start to get a little bit of a discount for the more days that you buy. So that's a good thing to think about as well. Driving is faster than buses. Yeah. Yeah, buses sometimes can be hit or miss for sure. Okay. Yeah, there were no Marvel Magic Band Pluses online. And the snacks one, yes, the snacks one was online. So the thing I was a little bit bummed about with the snacks one was it wasn't stocked in Magic Kingdom initially whenever I went to go and check out the Magic Band. So I bought Orange Bird and then I came back and saw this one, but ultimately I'm glad I went with the Orange Bird one. It is USB, it's a USB like plug. It doesn't come with like the little other like the outlet part of it, or the part that goes in the outlet, I guess. But this is like it's a special charger that clips right onto the back. Maybe if this will focus, I don't know. Well, maybe not. It clips right onto the back, especially on the Magic Band. So I know a lot of cast members were saying, let's see. I know a lot of cast members were saying to purchase it to have like a backup in case something happens to it, but I did not see any of them like go out of stock today. So I mean, you could always go back and purchase one. I think that they'll probably have them in stock for sure. Charge. Okay. No, that's a good question. I actually don't know if Droid Depot does reservations. That's a good question. I would have to look at that and get back to you. I actually don't know. Does anybody know? I'm not sure actually. How hot pink is the snacks band? It's more of like a maroon, to be honest. It's more of like a maroon color. It's not necessarily like hot pink. Actually, it's like very similar to the pink, to the whatever you would call this color right here. It's very similar to the color that I have here for the bubble there. It's like very similar to that. So it's more of like a maroon color. So, but that is basically what I have to share with you guys as far as money saving tips for Disney World. I know it's something that I like to talk about. So I definitely like to find some ways to save money when going to Disney World because it can be quite expensive, but of course we still want to go because we love our Disney. So I hope you guys enjoyed those tips and things to consider next time you are planning a Disney World vacation. Thank you guys so much if you are watching here on the live stream or if you are here on the replay. I appreciate you watching and interacting for sure. I hope you guys have great Disney trips if you have any coming up. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section below. I'm happy to help you if I can whenever it comes to your Disney questions. On Friday, I'm going to have my vlog of the Magic Band Plus coming out. So I was able to go and check it out today at Magic Kingdom. Had a blast doing that. So I'm excited to share that with you guys if you decide to purchase the Magic Band Plus for your trip. So that way I can help you figure out how to get it hooked up and started, and then also be able to use it whenever you're actually in the parks. That way you can make the most of your time. So, but also if you guys are watching here on the replay and want to check us out live next time, definitely come back Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're here always talking about some Disney tips or updates to help you on your next Disney vacation. So thank you guys so much. Doofs, Gabe, Disney World is my happy place. Thank you guys so much for watching live. I appreciate the support, and I hope you guys have a great evening, and we will see you guys in the next video. See you guys.